Hey guys, what's going on? Wally here, bringing you some Modern Warfare 2 gameplay today. And it is a beautiful day outside, and by beautiful, I mean disgusting. Yeah, it was raining all yesterday and early this morning. It's pretty gross outside. But at least I can come here, and it will put me in a little bit better mood, I bet, or I hope. I don't know, we will see. Yeah, so I've been having fun playing Modern Warfare 2 like over the last week, but I think it might have come to an end. I don't know. I did get in a couple of pretty tough lobbies yesterday as far as noob tubes and camping and stuff like that goes. But I don't really get too angry at that stuff anymore. It's just part of the game, and I think you have to learn to accept it if you want to play a game like this. Uh, at least I've come to terms with that kind of stuff at this point. But yeah, I mean, I had a pretty good time playing this game, and I do manage to get a fairly decent score in this game. I was pretty happy with it, so I thought I'd come on here and I'll share it with you guys, and I hope you enjoy. I really don't have too many tips for you guys when it comes to Call of Duty anymore. I feel like most of you guys probably understand how to play the game. It's mostly about map control, keeping yourself in a good position to the map because you can die so quick in Call of Duty, and just kind of understanding the team spawn and trying to position yourself in a good position like you do right there, so you can get nice little triple sprays. But yeah, other than that, there's really not too much for me to tell you guys. If you guys do have any questions though relating, to Call of Duty, whether it be Black Ops this or Modern Warfare 2, or Call of Duty 4, please ask me. I'll try my best to answer. Even though I might not be the best player in the world, I feel like I'm fairly decent at giving explanations of things and how to do things. So even though I might not be able to execute better than some other players, I feel like I have the ability to coach a little better, maybe. I don't know. That's probably a terrible way to put it, and I'm just going to leave it at that. So yeah, I have a ton of other things that I want to talk about. I guess the first will be um, good news. I got my computer, or well, I don't have it yet, but it's been delivered to my house, and I'm up at school, and I'm going to be getting it tomorrow, I think, along with my flip camera and the snowball microphone. So the quality should hopefully be a whole lot better next time you guys are listening to me, which will be pretty nice. And you might even get to see my sexy face, which will be really nice. So, we'll get a little face-to-screen action going on. And I'll spoil you guys, but obviously I'm joking. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about, and I know I'm doing a great job segueing into this, huh? But yeah, the next thing I want to talk about is actually something a little more serious and interesting, and I think it's actually something that I feel, no matter whether you're a guy or girl, an old or young gamer, you can definitely relate to this in the fact that it's just pervasive throughout our entire society, and it's something that deems to be true to everyone, and it's something that you probably don't think about a whole lot. So what I really want to talk about in this video is the social construction of gender, and how we deem these certain traits in our society to be relative to whether or not you're a man or a woman, and almost the definition of what a man and a woman is, when in reality they're just really social preconceptions of what it means to be a man or a woman. So I guess I will explain. Over I don't know, last 2 weeks or something, I came across this whole concept, so I don't have the mastery of it that I probably should to come share with you guys, so I'll apologize for that flat out front. But I do think this is something really interesting and something that I personally never thought of, so I thought it'd be cool to come and share with you guys. So, all right, so basically what I was trying to say is, there are certain qualities that people will consider to be consistent with what a man is. For instance, tough, um, big, strong, stoic, doesn't really display their emotions on their sleeve, and a lot of these things are wrongfully considered to be masculine qualities, meaning that there's a direct connection between these kind of personality traits and the actual physiologically, like biological subset of a man, and that is incorrect, and it's tough for us to kind of understand this or come to grips with it, because it's so ingrained in us that is a natural male like trait, that these are natural male traits, so that they're actually directed to biology. But in truth, actually having the makeup of testosterone or anything like that does not correlate in any way to actually being a man. And this might not sound as big of a deal as I'm making it out to be, because I guess the repercussions of this kind of stuff, and the repercussions of having these ideals, or this very generalized definition of what it means to be a man or a woman, doesn't seem like such a big deal. But when you really take a step back and you look at what societal pressures can do to to people, to how it can really kind of constrain them into these roles that are unnatural and dangerous to fill, actually. So, basically, this is the same for females too. I mean, they have to assume the role of, being physically in, or try to fit the role where they, put themselves off as physically inferior, very emotional, really not strong. They have to play the role of almost being, somewhat unable to control themselves or unable to control what's around them. And I'm not saying that this by any means is what is really true. I'm saying this is kind of society's generalization of what feminine and masculine traits are, and then by those means is kind of what we are expected to fit into in roles in society. And there really is a serious danger behind this. And I guess I'll explain. One of the videos that they showed us was called "Tough Guys," and it was kind of a pun in which guys is spelled Guise, as in an actual like guys like a mask or something that you would put on to fit in and to kind of camouflage in your surroundings. And obviously, guys could be construed as Guis as actual guys. So you know what a tough guy is. I mean, I'm sure you guys have all met them. I'm sure some of you have even pretended to be one or consider yourself to be one. But yeah, the interesting thing about this is that there's this overwhelming sense for, especially for men, to kind of portray themselves as something that it's really unnatural for them to be. For example, it's really not uncommon for guys to try to pretend like things don't bother them as much as they do. It's really hard for men in today's society to kind of show emotion, to be vulnerable, to cry, to do all these things. And when people actually do things like this, they're ridiculed heavily for it. And it's really honestly dangerous and destructive to have this idea that people can deny basic emotions that make, that are part of who they are. And a lot of this idea that we need to be constrained into this small, narrow definition of what a man is, plays a large part for actual violence that goes on. Because I don't know if you guys know, but I think the statistics are overwhelmingly, you know, or violence is, sorry, this was kind of lost my thought, but don't worry, I'm going to put another video in here, because, or I might put it before or after this video, because I want a little bit more time to talk. But violence is perpetuated and done by an alarmingly overrepresentative part of males. I think it's something like 90% of males are, oh gosh, 90% of males are responsible for all violence committed in the U.S., and I think it's like something like 60% is on other males. Those stats are probably wrong, and I apologize for that, because I didn't really come in here prepared with actual statistics, but I know the numbers are somewhere generally around that area. Anyways, I mean, what that kind of shows is the fact that we feel so forced to fit in within this small confined box, and we're not able to really truly express ourselves. There's very few means of actually coming across and expressing ourselves, and unfortunately that leads a lot of people to violence. And it seems to be that anger and violence is really the only acceptable means for which men to express themselves. And I know that you guys, while you might not be quick to agree with me, I would hope that you can at least concede that that in some of the things that you do have been almost more of a performance for other people than yourselves. And I guess if I could explain that, I mean, especially in a young adolescent male's life, the majority of the things that he will do is more of a homosocial performance, for other men than it is for women. And please don't misconstrue what I'm saying to mean that it has any idea of homoeroticism attached to it, meaning that you're actually trying to attract other males or present yourself sexually to other males, because that's not what that idea means at all. Basically what it means is that your actions are more performed for the acceptance of other men around you, to feel part of the group, to feel included, to feel that you fit this role, than it is necessarily to be attracted to females or anything like that. And I know that you guys might be hesitant to believe this, but let's just think about it, because a lot of times, like for instance, I'm sure you guys have done this. Let's say you've had a relationship with a woman before and things went south. You still like this girl, but you put on the act that you don't really care about her anymore, and that the breakup doesn't bother you or something like that. Now that would be a perfect example of where you can't show your vulnerability. You can't show that you are invested in this relationship. You have to totally blow it off and act like it doesn't bother you. And that is honestly an unnatural and unhealthy thing to do. But unfortunately, it's something that we feel compelled and almost forced to do every day in our society. And I guess the reason that I really wanted to come and bring this to you guys is because obviously this stretches a lot farther than beyond just the way that we act and talk. And the reason that this feels so natural and is so pervasive in our society is that these images and this reinforcement of these ideas of what it means to be masculine slash feminine are everywhere. They're everywhere in our society, including video games. It's another place that it is very common to see this kind of thing. If you look at a lot of the male protagonists that you will see in the video games today, the males actually are this hyper, masculine, form of like, extreme strength, stoicism, all this kind of stuff that we believe that encapsulates to be a real man. I guess, off the top of my head, I can give one example. It would be, Snake, or Solid Snake, or whatever he's called, from Metal Gear. And he's a perfect example of what it means to be, a real man. He might not be as big as we, consider people today because he's a little bit older character. But the idea that he is completely unable to really express himself emotionally and struggles with that, a whole lot, but is able to go in and kill an entire platoon of men without even blinking is just kind of the perfect example of what we consider to be manhood. You have to be strong. You have to be able to impose your will on others. But it's okay to have no ability whatsoever to actually talk and express yourself to other human beings, which is a very dangerous notion because a lot of guys do honestly fit this role, and I think I've been kind of fortunate in my life that I haven't felt the pressures that other people do. A lot of my friends have just always been just true friends, and I can kind of tell them whatever. I mean, I honestly think I could tell them anything, and it wouldn't really change their judgment on me because they know the type of person I am. They know how I treat them, and I think that's kind of what's ultimately important between us. But for a lot of people, I know this isn't the case, and that's the unfortunate thing is that if you don't fit into this, tough guys, air quotes, then you will be ostracized, and that's not right. And I just thought I would come and share this with you guys. I mean, you might think that this is completely preposterous, but just look for it, I guess, because I think if you have an open mind to this and you actually look at it, you will see that these ideas of what man isn't natural, or what a female isn't natural, but we assume these roles just because of societal pressure. So take a look around you and just take a look at how everything kind of tells you how you should act, and it's not necessarily true. It's just the societal norm, and it's easy to break away from. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I really enjoyed talking to you and bringing you guys something a little more interesting than I normally do. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna probably bring some more complex ideas like this to my channel. Yeah, peace.